Hey, my name's Anthony.
My name's Alex.
And we are
The PTA Podcast.
Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in again for another episode of the PTA Podcast. Don't forget, like and subscribe to us on YouTube and Spotify. Alrighty, we're going to get straight into this episode.
Yeah,
this
bruh.
one's a short, sharp fire episode.
Ooh.
The top three
Some
things...
sound effects.
Dun, 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 dun. The top three things that anybody who's starting in their fitness journey needs to 100% do, no questions asked, okay?
Steroids, no jokes.
Now,
That's a joke.
The reason why I'm saying this is because of the fact that there's too much information, too many opinions, too many perfect plans that people can't stick to.
Yeah, definitely.
So what we've really worked hard on in our careers is just cutting through all that noise and giving people easy, not sexy, but easy, actionable things that they can do.
Sustainability.
To be sustainable, exactly. So the first one is talking about the fact that you need to focus on being consistent and not
consistent.
and not perfect.
Yeah.
Start again. You need to be focused on staying consistent and not
Perfect.
good boy. So, why do you think the perfect plan is just a bunch of BS?
Because every day is different. And you're never going to have a perfect day. Nothing in your week is ever going to go perfect. And if it does, brother, that's like once in a blue moon. The percentage, the chance of that happening is so low. So you need to be able to adapt. So don't aim for perfect, because perfect is never going to be attainable.
Yeah.
You want to ensure that you adapt and you can modify your plan. You have it set out on Sunday morning, modify it throughout the week when things come up and as things come up throughout your day. You may wake up on Monday feeling great, like me last week, and then you wake up on Tuesday sick out of nowhere. Whole week got ruined, right? And I had to adapt and modify and whatnot. So, yeah, you have to be able to adapt and modify, and you can't freak out and throw everything in the bin if nothing doesn't go your way.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And the reason why I agree is because of the fact that, for example, being a parent, right? Your day can be flipped upside down like that.
Literally, yeah, I've seen it.
If your child is sick, for example.
I've seen it with you.
Or if your child doesn't sleep well, right?
Or if your wife's giving birth and if your wife's water break and you're in a consult.
Well, if my wife's water broke a week before she was supposed to break, yeah, exactly. And I'm in a consult and I had to run out. But yeah, do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So these things are always going to happen. So the consistency approach gives you a lot less stress and anxiety about it all.
Yeah, definitely.
And doesn't allow you to feel like you keep failing, right? Like my day has not gone to plan at all today.
Yeah.
Right, because we were so much busier
busy
in the
this morning.
than we were. I was anticipating it to be, but then I remembered it's school holidays.
Yeah.
So people that usually come in the afternoon after
coming
school
in
come
during
in
the
the
day.
morning. So it's the 7 and 8 o'clock session are generally more quiet, and I can leave Zena on the floor by herself with 4 people, and I being 8 and 8. So I had to be on the floor with
Yeah,
her, which is
100%.
fine. But what I'm trying to get at is it took away my usual morning that I
That
like
kind of
to do.
2-3 hour block.
That just 2 hours of just all the outreach I like to do, I have to put it to the afternoon today.
Yeah.
Right? Is it a perfect day? No. Is it a consistent day? Yes.
Because it still gets done.
Because I still get everything done, just in a different order.
So I'll throw an example out there for you guys. Very simple example when it comes to say step intake, right? We have a lot of people that work in the corporate field. So a lot of the time they're sitting down at their desks doing their work. Some days are different than others. Some days I have a lot of my clients that are able to walk around when they're on the phone to people at work. There are some days where they're that busy or they need to be behind the computer or laptop that they're literally sitting down.
Yeah.
So then naturally their step intake decreases for that day.
100%, yeah.
So it's not a perfect day in terms of their step count, but what they do is they make sure that their weekly step intake is still consistent by taking the shortfall of the Wednesday and adding it onto the Thursday, Friday, and doing extra steps on that Thursday,
Don't forget
Friday.
there's Saturday, Sunday too.
Exactly right.
People
So
think step counts only Monday to Friday. No, you've got 7 days to work with.
exactly.
You use them, right?
So it wasn't a perfect day in terms of steps, but it was a consistent week in terms of their weekly step count.
Exactly. And when we look at things from a macro point of view, so a bigger, like broaden the lens out a little bit and look at things, this way as opposed to this way. If you're consistent 48 weeks out of a 52-week year, that's very consistent.
Yeah, very.
Right? Versus being perfect 4 weeks out of a 52 year. Right? You could have still been consistent, but not perfect, but your perception is I fucked up or I failed versus I was actually really good this year.
100%.
Right? So my goal is to always be consistent. I'm never ever going to get a perfect week of training in.
Yep.
Like today, I've got Buckleys if I get the training, my session in today, because I've been back-to-back all morning and all afternoon. Right? I left my office to come do this stuff. I've got to go back into the office again. Right?
Yep.
And it's because it was a shorter week. and I sacrificed my Monday work stuff to do to hang out with Arthur, which really isn't a sacrifice, but it just means I have to push everything and condense it between Tuesday to Saturday, right? So for me, would I stress out about the fact that I can't train as usual, or do I just make it work between Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I'll get 4 sessions in between those 6 days? Do you get what I'm trying to say? So it definitely works. You just need to really understand that certain things have to be done a certain way in order to see progress. And there are a few non-negotiables.
Definitely.
Right? However, those non-negotiables aren't a non-negotiable on a daily basis. They're non-negotiable on a weekly basis.
Exactly right.
An example, use your steps.
Yeah.
Right? My example is nutrition, right? I had the same conversation with a person this morning. I was giving her nutrition plan, going through with her. And I said to her, she goes, I gave her the plan. She goes to me, is this like a everyday thing, like 7 days a week? And I was like, relax, it's not. I said, we look at everything with a consistency point of view or a consistency lens. And I asked her, okay, if you eat 5 meals a day, and you multiply that by 7 days in a week, how many meals is that in a week? She goes, 35 meals. I said, good, you know your maths. I said to her, now, what's 80% of 35? She couldn't answer me, she didn't have a calculator. But I told her, it's 28. That gives her 7 meals that can be off plan or missed. But if she's having 28 meals in a week, she's 80% compliant. And if you were to get 80% in the maths exam, would you be happy?
100%, brother. It's HD cars.
Why can't we be happy with 80% compliance with a nutrition plan?
It's a very good way to think about it.
Do you get what I mean? I said it to somebody else. He had 2 meals in his week that were off. I go, 2 meals only? He goes, I fucked up. I said, bro, you're not good at
That
this.
is so good.
I said, that's like 98% compliance.
Yeah.
I said, yeah. I said, you're still in school. I said, yeah. I said, so if you got 98% in interview exams, how happy would you be? Because I'd be so happy. I said, why aren't you happy with 98% compliance with your food?
Yeah.
And
You got to flip how you think about it.
Why do you think about it like that? I said, exactly. I go, start thinking about it like that. Because that's what's going to help you.
It's a good way to think about it.
And he was just like, okay. So my thing is, similar with your step count, use the 7 days. I'm the same as food. Use the 7 days really well. But on a daily basis, as a non-negotiable, it's got to be 4 meals a day minimum.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's what's going to keep the way blood sugar is, the way protein intake is, the way muscle retention and building is, the way energy is. It's going to keep that consistent
100%.
for you as well. And again, unfortunately, the way it kind of works with most people who do this for the first time, they go all in, they burn themselves out, they quit. Right? Or they have this mindset of, I didn't start Monday, so I'll wait till Monday next week, because for some reason you have to start on a Monday. You can't start on a Tuesday. The other thing is, if they miss 1 or 2 sessions, they feel like they fucked up the whole week. You haven't. You got 7 days to work in. Right? If people don't like to train on a weekend, I can't help you, because that's your fault. And you've taken out 2 days of progress for yourself. But if you are open to having 7 days a week to work with, use them. I always tell clients, you can come in here on a Sunday. They go, what? So you can come in here on a Sunday and exercise. No, I can't do that. Yes, you can.
Yeah, you can.
You just don't want to. If you really want to do it, you could. Ben does it all the time. Right? I love coming in on a Sunday. I don't come here. I go to a different gym. But I love Sunday sessions. It's my reset here. It's my time. You can never, ever give from an empty cup. Ever. And our niche have this bad habit of doing that. Right? You can always give, and give willingly from a full cup. So you must fill your cup first. So I love it. I always recommend training first thing in the morning. Because if you don't,
it's very hard to go into the after work sometimes.
Some people struggle with the afternoons because they're burnt out and they're tired.
100%.
And they're just mentally not there. Right?
I encourage a lot of people come in the morning.
Come in the morning. Start your day well. Let the evening and after work time be time for you to down-regulate.
Be with your family, down-regulate.
Not rush and then rush and then rush. And then
set yourself up for the next day.
Yeah. That's how my opinion anyway. And it works. Now, number 2. Master your nutrition, right? And in particular, just keep it simple. Our nutrition plans are quite simple.
Yeah.
The only ones that get kind of, complicated, where we're looking at carb loading, or we're looking at, dropping calories here to have them there, we're looking at a certain timing of meals, is our athletes.
Yeah.
Right? Because we need to fuel them for performance.
It's a lot more specific.
Or we need to make sure that they're getting super lean for a comp, for example. Other than that, we're like, hey, eat 5 times a day, prioritize protein, drink 3 liters of water, and I don't want to fucking hear about anything else.
That's it.
And if people just do those simple things, the amount of progress that they make with fat loss, retaining and building muscle, getting stronger,
it's massive. It's massive.
Sleep, it's remarkable, right? And so, the question I'm going to ask you on that topic in particular, When it comes to advice you give around this stuff, what's like your top 1 or 2 things that you tell people?
I would say I always say to people, prioritize your protein. Prioritize protein on your plate, specifically, is what I say. And the reason being is because, as we know, protein has the highest satiety level in terms of food groups.
Keeps you fuller for longer is what Alex is trying to say.
And so that I've been working with lately, actually, funny enough, is that a lot of them are very snacky. But that's because they're not actually having a lot of protein in their day. So their meals consist of mainly carbohydrates, which get pretty much digested pretty quick or fairly quick. And so they find themselves hungry after like an hour and a half. And so they start snacking. And then those snacks start to build their calories in the day. So what I do is that I strip it back and I actually get them to prioritize the first thing they put on their plate is something protein based, whether it's chicken, meat, red meat, fish, whatever it may be, something protein based, and have that fill half your plate, right? That's probably the first thing that I say to people. The second thing then I would give a bit of a tip on is make sure you eat regularly. Don't do this whole, I'm going to wake up in the morning and it's either I can't be bothered eating or I don't have an appetite. And so they don't have their first meal till like 10, 11 o'clock. And by that point, they're absolutely ravenous, right? When you're ravenous and you're really, really, really hungry, you're going to go for the first thing that's in front of you or the quickest option possible. 9 times out of 10, the first thing in front of you or the quickest thing possible isn't going to be the most nutritious, right? And then from there, they probably don't have their next meal till like maybe 4 or 5 o'clock after they finish work.
Yeah.
They then come to that point, again, they're really hungry. It's been, 4 or 5 hours almost since they've last eaten. And again, they're ravenous. So majority of people that we deal with are usually home by that time. What happens when you see yourself in the fridge and it's like a standoff between you and the fridge and you're full hungry? You're going to devour whatever's in that fridge or whatever's in your pantry.
It's easy as well.
100%. Yeah. And that's when the chips come out. A little bit of chocolate, and then people start and they're like, I just can't stop. It's like, yeah, you can't stop because you've got no food in your system.
That as well, right? But also the type of food that they're consuming. Foods that are high on low on the satiety index will leave them craving more.
And I guarantee there's a lot of people, as we're talking, they're probably giggling like, yeah, that's me. And that is you, right? Because of the fact that by the time you finish dinner, you've had 2 to 3 meals at the very most. And there hasn't, going back to my first tip, there hasn't been enough protein also on your plate.
You know why? What you just described is what we always talk about doing is plan your day. People that eat like what you're saying, they're reactive in their day. They're not 100%. Proactive with their day. So there's no planning with their food. There's no understanding what they're going to have for breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks. Some of them don't like to do that kind of stuff. Then I say, look, just suffer the consequences and waste your money on shit food. And, put on more body fat as opposed to lose body fat. The others that do prioritize this stuff, either invest in a meal prep company or they just prep their meals ahead of time and they give themselves the ability to actually succeed.
100%.
Right? People think success is hard to attain. It's not. It's a matter of doing 2 things really consistently, planning and executing. Right? I didn't say perfectly though. I said consistently.
Exactly right.
So that ties back into our first point, sorry. When your nutrition is consistent, you're actually really, really good. Right? So when you're planning ahead of time and you're staying consistent with your food, you know what you're having, there's a strategy behind it, you understand why it works for you and why it's for you, you trust in the process, all you need to do is fucking eat that food.
That's it.
As often as you can throughout the week, right? Because then you'll accelerate yourself to your goals so much quicker.
100%.
Right? Eating regularly 5 times a day is what we recommend everybody, irrespective of how big they are in terms of body fat or their goal, right? Prioritizing protein, controlling portions is really important too, I feel, because it's not about restricting, right? It's about teaching.
Exactly right.
Right? It's about getting your body to understand what to do, but also getting you to understand how much certain foods actually carry calories.
Yep.
Right? When I tell somebody have 100 grams of carbs, you can make it look like a little piece of bread, or you can make it with a fucking plate full of vegetables. Right? They'll still give you 100 grams of carbs. You're just giving them, you got them from different sources.
Definitely, man.
So I always tell people that 100 grams of carbohydrates ain't going to get you fat.
Yeah.
It's all dependent on where you get it from, right? But also, I always tell people, 2,000 calories with clean food, or nutrient-dense, low-calorie food, I should say, versus high-processed, high-calorie, low-nutrient-dense food is going to look very different.
Definitely.
Right? I'll give you 2 days worth of food and 2,000 calories from that that high nutrient density, low calorie food. I'll give you 2 days worth of food, right? Versus 1 meal of food for the same amount of calories, right? From Macca's or KFC or Hungry Jack's or whatever, right?
And that's the thing.
Yeah.
So and then speaking on like from a physiological point of view as well, they don't realize what's happening like with things like their blood sugar, their cortisol. People are like, oh, I'm craving sugar. It's because your blood sugar's doing this. It's spiking and then crashes. Spiking and then crashes.
But it's the thing, man. Most people think that blood sugar goes up and then it goes back to normal. It doesn't. It goes up and it goes straight back down. So you
what goes
spike
up
it,
must come down.
But you spike it, it's not going to go back to being regulated because you haven't actually given it the nutrients to regulate.
Exactly right.
That's why having protein is so important.
Because it regulates your blood sugar levels throughout the whole day.
Stabilizes your blood sugar levels, exactly right.
And then things
consistently too does that.
Exactly right. And then things like, your cortisol, for example, a lot of people that are, like I was saying, and a lot of people do this, I'm not saying everyone, but a lot of people where they don't eat at all, then they have their first meal at 11 o'clock. A lot of people that do that are having a lot of coffee in the morning to keep them going. And then what's happening with that is that it's spiking their adrenals, right? And the cortisol is shooting. And then it comes to like that 2-3 o'clock time when their cortisol comes down and crashes, and they're like this in front of the desk. It's because you don't have enough food in your system, you have a shitload of caffeine in your system, and you're severely dehydrated. And your cortisol is like, bro, where do you want me to go right now?
Do you know how alert I feel when I have salt in water? Like when I'm training, I'll have that, and I'll feel so much more alert versus me having a coffee.
100%.
Right, and it's because obviously we hydrate ourselves and it has such a good impact on us.
100%.
Right. The other thing I wanted to kind of highlight is the fact that we need to stop relying on motivation to eat well.
Yes.
Right. Having that structure and then relying on consistency with that structure is your golden ticket to the body composition or the performance goals that you want. Right. Alrighty. Number 3, which is our last one. Strength training is a non-negotiable. For anybody who's starting out, and we see these newbies, like when I go to the commercial gym and train, I see the same guy on the same treadmill every day of the week who looks the same for like 12 months.
Yeah.
And he doesn't touch weights. Or the same lady on the treadmill doing the same things and thinking that cardio is the answer. It actually is not the answer to your fat loss goals. It can aid in heart health, but that's all I'd use cardio for. I would always use weights or strength training to aid in fat loss and body composition goals because of the research and the data that supports the fact that you building muscle helps you lose fat long term.
100% it does.
Plus all the other positive health implications it has on the body as well.
100%.
All right, so if you were to have somebody training with you for the first time, what plan would you put for them?
Chest on Mondays. Pretty much if they were training for me for the first time, man, just whole body resistance training or whole body strength training. Getting their bodies to, one, understand movement, right? Getting their body to understand training with weights, teaching them the correct basics around human movement as well. And then, just introducing them to dumbbells and barbells and getting them, training with that weight and, getting them strong, teaching them how to be strong.
Behind it all, right?
You have to have a strategy behind it. You have to have a strategy behind it. And if it wasn't a whole body, it would be just the three big lifts, as we say.
Well,
the 3 compounds.
Essentially, that does work the whole body anyway.
But that's pretty much how I would take it. And I would really, really educate them as to why, right? And that's because of the fact that, like we've spoken about in previous podcasts, when someone understands why they're doing something, they're more compliant on wanting to do it.
And how it impacts them, how it affects them. And when somebody gets a program put together for them, they feel a little bit special.
Yeah, 100%.
Somebody gets something generic, they're not going to appreciate it because they don't see that there's effort being put in.
100%, man.
Right, so what's the level of compliance?
Down, 0.
Right, when I know my coach put together my program for me,
You get G'd.
I get excited to
Yeah,
train.
you get G'd.
Because like, all right, cool, he's got this together for me, he knows what I want to achieve, let's go and get it.
But even if I was, even the times that I've programmed for myself, I program for myself and then I pick up that program the next day to start it. I'm like, oh, this is mad. And
No,
I'm like,
I hate programming for myself because I always chop and change shit as I go, and I'm done with it. I'd rather not think. I think about 200 clients of their programs. I'm done with thinking about my own programs. So I get my coach to do my program for me because it's the one thing I don't think about.
yeah, hard out.
Which is a nice feeling. He knows my body, he knows my goals, and we just go from there.
Yeah.
But okay, so just to summarize, the top 3 things we'd recommend anybody starting in their fitness journey to do. Number 1, consistency over perfection. Number 2, master your nutrition and keep it simple. And number 3, strength training is a non-negotiable.
That last one is like 100%.
Now, if you're starting out, right, forget everything else. Like, just block the noise out. Block out the noise about supplements. Block out the noise about... Actually, no, don't block the noise out about supplements. They're actually very good for you. Block out the noise about all the 50 things you got to do in your day. Or the 20 things you got to include in your week. It'll just get you overwhelmed and anxious. Block out the... Here's the fastest way to lose this, or here's the fastest way to gain that. Block it all out, okay? Focus on these 3 things. They may not be sexy, right? But they're actually going to get you the results that you want. And then hope you keep them for the long term.
And
that will mean that you end up looking sexy.
What's the one thing that I say to every single human being?
You don't say one thing. You say a lot of different things.
No, but what's the one thing that I say when it comes to people achieving their goal?
Oh, fuck the fun out, bro.
Nail the basics.
Oh, yeah.
Just nail the basics.
That's like the last thing that you say before.
No, but like, let's be real. I say it a lot.
You don't.
Because it's so true.
You don't say it.
Ben, why not say nail the basics a lot? Go back on every podcast episode. I guarantee you I've said it at least once.
He hasn't said it at least once.
Yeah, all right, bro. Yeah, that goes to show you don't listen. See, this is why he doesn't even listen when I talk.
I do, but you don't say it all
No, Anthony, go nail the basics, bro. Go.
Well, I would. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate your time. Thank you for watching. Don't forget, like and subscribe to YouTube and Spotify.
Thank you, people.